Most people think that becoming a millionaire is the moment that will change your financial life forever. But after 15 years working in finance and from my own experience, I don't think it is. What I found was the moment everything changed was when I reached my first £10,000 invested. In this video, I'll explain why everything changes once you have £10,000 invested. You've done the hardest part. This is Mount Everest. With spectacular views and a lifetime of bragging rights, this is a challenge that people think will change their life forever. I bring this up because most people assume that hitting their investing goals is like climbing Everest. You just have to stick with it and keep going, and eventually you'll get there one step at a time. But this mindset is wrong. The truth is, it's the total opposite. In your investing life, the first £10,000 is the hardest, and it will only get easier from here. Look, when you climb Everest, the higher you climb, the harder it gets. The air gets thinner and it gets harder to breathe. Your oxygen-starved brain cannot concentrate. And any altitude above 8,000 meters is literally called the death zone. And I think this is so often why people give up with investing, because they assume that it's going to be like this forever, that the process is linear, but you have already done the hardest part. But the strange thing is, once you actually hit £10,000 invested, a lot of things start to change. Your first evidence of success. The next reason why I think £10,000 is critical is that it shows you your first tangible stepping stone to financial success. But you should not fall into the trap of only starting to invest once you feel confident. Most people will just freeze completely in their tracks because they think they need to understand the entire stock market before they make their first move. And that is just a total trap. People get these two things mixed up. Confidence doesn't create action. Action creates confidence. And in investing, it's no different. Think of it as a momentum loop. You start by taking action, like setting up that direct debit into your investing account. That single action forces you to learn the absolute basics. And one other thing that I found £10,000 invested does is it validates your efforts. It wasn't luck that got you here, it was discipline more than anything. Money, confidence. The next thing that changed for me at £10,000 was confidence. Because the bottom line is, if you speak to almost anybody who has never invested before, fear is the number one thing holding them back. Fear of losing money, fear of making a mistake, fear of not knowing what they're doing, the fear that they'll get scammed. But by the time you've built a £10,000 portfolio, you have probably invariably conquered all of those fears. You've proven to yourself that you can save money consistently. You've proven to yourself that you can invest regularly, even when the markets are uncertain. And maybe most importantly, you have shown yourself that investing isn't nearly as complicated as you might have thought it was. There's a saying that evidence beats motivation. And to be honest, that's exactly what happened to me. I didn't necessarily need someone to tell me investing worked because I could see it. You have tested yourself as an investor. We were talking about fear just a second ago, the fear about losing money. And I love to show people this chart. It shows the returns of the US stock market, although clearly other indexes are available, but with global events marked on, going all the way back to the 1960s. But no matter what is happening in the world, the market continues to go up and to the right. Because when you are investing, you are basically betting that the world will carry on spinning. Or what about this one? It shows the S&P returns by president, by political party. And whether it's Republicans or Democrats, for the most part, you see the same thing. And I suppose the point I'm trying to make here is a very simple one. That to be a successful investor, there are a few key skills you need, but only a few key skills that you need. And they are probably not the ones you think. But none are more important than the psychology of holding your nerve when you are investing. It really boils down to two key skills: patience and discipline. Patience to know that this is a long-term game. We are, of course, on this channel investors, not traders. Understanding that the more time you give investing, the more it will work for you. And the second thing you need is discipline, to make sure you are investing consistently, not only when you remember, not only when you feel like it, not only when you have a bit of spare change at the end of the month, but that you are putting money into your investing account every single month. And finally, I just want to show you this graph. This is the returns of the S&P 500 by year. And you can see that some years it's up, some years it's down, some years it goes absolutely nowhere. But when you zoom out, that is when you get that average growth rate of 10% that we've been talking about. Now, next up, we have maybe the most important part of the whole video. So we mentioned right at the video that your first £10,000 invested is your hardest. If you remember, we were just about to start climbing Mount Everest. And this is linked to the 20-71 rule that I want to come back to in a second. But just a quick explainer. Compound interest is the interest that you'll be accumulating from the contributions that you've already made into your investing account. But then this is in addition to the interest that you've already made from your previous contributions. So clearly, when you're first starting, compounding interest is barely making a dent. Just as an example, if you have £1,000 in your portfolio and the market goes up 10%, that's going to be a £100 gain on your investment. But let's say you had £10,000 and the market goes up 10%, then that is a £1,000 gain. If you invest £500 a month at a 10% annual average return, reaching your first £10,000 takes you a grueling 19 months. Why, you might be asking? Well, because basically you're doing all the heavy lifting. £9,500 comes out of your pocket and the interest or the compounding adds just £500. But this is where things really start to change. Watch how compound interest takes over. Going from £40,000 to £50,000 drops to 12 months. Here, your deposits provide £6,000, but compound interest matches it with another £4,000. The jump from £90,000 to £100,000 takes just 8 months. And this is an important tipping point. You only contribute £4,000 while the compound interest generates £6,000. Your money is now working harder and faster than you are. And just to illustrate, the final push from £990,000 to £1 million takes just 2 months. Your contribution, £1,000. Your portfolio growth, £9,000 of compound interest. So unlike our Mount Everest example, once you are at the top of the hill, it's plain sailing all the way down. I just want to come back to this. Here we have simple interest. This is you just making contributions every month and not earning any interest or getting any benefit of compound growth from that money. And to pause here, this is a problem for so many people because they assume that this is how people build wealth, that it is a linear, straight line. But once they start seeing compound interest make a visible contribution when they hit the £10,000 mark, it gives them more confidence to keep investing. And this is what I found. You understand how time works. The cost of waiting to invest is absolutely brutal. Earlier in the video, we mentioned the 20-71 rule, but let's explain it. So the 20-71 rule tells us that if someone starts investing at age 20 and invests a lump sum at a 10% average annual return, that money will multiply by 71 times by the time they get to 65. So just to put this into an example, deciding, for example, to pay £1,000 less for a car when you're in your 20s and investing that £1,000 can turn into £71,000. If, for example, you wanted to hit the £1 million mark by the time you got to 65, then the date that you start matters significantly more than the amount you put in. Start at age 20 and you'll only need to invest about £95 a month. But the problem is, if you start investing at age 30, you need to contribute £263 a month. If you start investing at 40, the penalty skyrockets to £754 a month. And if you wait until you are 50, you are staring down a massive £2,412 every single month just to catch up to everyone else. So the key message is this: starting early, even if this is just very small amounts done consistently, can make a massive, massive difference. It just gives you more time. You start thinking about opportunity cost. I found that another thing that changed for me when I had £10,000 invested was how I thought about spending money. Before I hit £10,000, most of my decisions revolved around things like, can I afford this? Is this the cheapest option? How much money will I have left in my bank account afterwards? But once you have a meaningful amount invested, you start to think about opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is basically everything you give up when you spend money. You can only spend your money once, and so opportunity cost is an important idea. In investing terms, every pound you spend is a pound that you can't invest and therefore can't compound for years into the future. I just want to jump on this very, very quickly. I'm not saying that you should never spend money. Clearly not. That is just absolutely insane. But it is absolutely fair to say that you should maybe think about value rather than just price. And I think this is really one of the biggest differences between investors and non-investors. Investors don't just see the price of something, they see all the alternatives that go along with it. One of the alternatives may well be investing. And I think that as a result, you become way more intentional about how you spend your money. You stop making spending decisions on autopilot and you start asking much more thoughtful, much better questions about your money. Things like, is this really the best use of my money? Is there a better alternative? What else could this money be doing for me? And once you start thinking like that, it gives you options. Another thing that changed once I had £10,000 invested was that I found it started to give me options, deciding to spend a little more if you can get a lot more. These are all perfectly reasonable trade-offs. And that's sort of because money creates opportunities and creates choices. Now, don't get me wrong, a £10,000 portfolio is probably not going to be enough for you to retire on, but it is enough to maybe give you your first real taste of financial freedom. Maybe it's doing a job that you enjoy over a job that you have to do. Maybe it's retiring a bit earlier. Maybe it's changing jobs if you're unhappy. Maybe it's taking a calculated career risk. All of those sorts of things are open to you as you start to go beyond that £10,000. And I think for me, what made this even more powerful was that money was now starting to make money on its own. The gains weren't life-changing, let's just get that out of the way, but they were kind of noticeable. For the first time, I could see my portfolio contributing alongside the deposits that I was making. Some months they were more, sure. Some months they were less, also sure. But seeing it was satisfying nonetheless. You realise how easy it can be. It has always been the case in pop culture for basically as long as I can remember that people who worked in finance were high-flying, went to the best universities, had many, many letters after their name, and had about 24 screens that they were all looking at the same time. And this creates the illusion that they were the only possible people on the face of the earth qualified to manage anyone's money, let alone their own. And I really hope that more than anything, we have busted that myth. That a simple, low-cost global index fund is a very powerful wealth-building tool. But also that consistency and patience will play their own very, very important role when it comes to your investing. We have 3 videos on screen. We have the optimal order to invest your money, tips from millionaires, and how you can fix your finances in just 24 hours. I really recommend this one. You've been watching Modern Money Talk. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.